All right. This is Sports for Real with Coach Hall. Hopefully, I sound a whole lot better than I did yesterday. Feel a little bit better. Got a little chill going on, but fighting through this little sickness I had. Voice sounds like, I don't know what it sounds like, but I feel a little bit better than I did yesterday. A little bit more under control, so happy about that. It'll be another day or so before I'm 100%, but then again next week, when the weather changes again, I'm going to be in bad shape again. So the funny thing about it, when I'm not around school and dealing with kids, I'm fine. As soon as I get around a bunch of kids, I'm all messed up. But that's just the way it goes. All right, what we got here. Wrestling dude. I hope you feel better. I'm good, man. I'm a football player in mental spirit anyway. So I'm good with that. I want to talk a little bit today about the conference championship games. First game up, you got the Broncos and the Patriots. And a lot of people are already penciling New England into the Super Bowl because they feel like the stout defense that they have under Vrabel is going to be able to beat a team without their starting quarterback. As you know, Bo Nix broke an ankle in overtime, and he's not going to be able to play. He had to have surgery to repair that bone, and he's going to be out until next year. So that brings in backup Jarrett Stidham, who used to be with the Patriots, by the way. But it's going to come down to how well can he run that offense to attack New England. Now, like I said, a lot of people have New England already penciled into this Super Bowl because of the backup quarterback situation. But I kind of disagree. First of all, if you are good enough to make the NFL, I feel like you should be able to get out there and play when called upon. Yeah, I know he hadn't thrown a pass in the game in a couple of years, but he's going to practice every day. He knows what's going on. He's getting reps. It's not like he's going to be picked up off the street like a Phillip Rivers when you have to guess as to what he might do. This guy's actually a pretty decent player. But the other reason I think that it's a mistake to pencil in New England is because Sean Payton. Now, I got to be honest with you. Sean Payton, I was crazy about the guy. But I lost a lot of respect for Sean Payton when he started doing all that crying a few years ago about the referees. If you recall, when he was with the Saints, they had that playoff game, and I don't remember who they were playing. It was an obvious pass interference call that he did not get, and it cost them a chance to go to the Super Bowl. Was Peyton right for complaining? Was he right about the call? Yes, he was right. But the way he went about it, get in this post-game conference blasting the referees about the call and pretty much calling the referees out. Well, that's fine and good, but you got to realize you're going to have to deal with those referees again. And sure enough, the year after that, I think it was Minnesota. It was another controversial call. And he had to know that it's not going to go his way after you've already blasted the officiating fraternity. You were not going to get the benefit of the doubt. So by him blasting the officials a year before, it hurt him again the following year. But go back even before that. That same year that went down, the Saints played the Steelers. The Steelers got a couple pass interference calls. I believe it was Joe Hayden. Joe Hayden came out of Florida. He used to play with the Browns, but he was with Pittsburgh. He got like 3 or 4 pass interference calls that made the difference in that game. That loss to the Saints kept the Steelers out of the playoffs. But not once did you hear the Steelers complaining about the officials costing them the game. But Peyton did, and he wouldn't stop talking. And then the next year he did the same thing. And you thought he would learn his lesson after the first time, after the Minnesota loss. He did the same thing. So I kind of cut Peyton loose from that aspect. But the fact that he can coach football, I'll never cut him loose because I think he's a great coach. So I'm going to ride with Peyton to be able to come up with a game plan to offset the loss of his starting quarterback against this New England team. Plus, it's also could be considered an advantage for Denver because you don't know what Stidham is going to do. And it will be a surprise to New England if they came up with a plan that they weren't quite expecting. You don't have much tape on the guy, right? You don't know what he's going to do, right? Well, that works for Denver. So I'm going to say, I'm going to say that Peyton comes up with a game plan, Stidham executes, and the Broncos pull out a squeaker against New England. Despite of what everybody's saying, New England is going to the Super Bowl because of this quarterback situation in Denver. I'm going to take the Broncos. On the other side, you have Seattle and the Rams. Division rivals. They don't like each other. Never did. Ever since they switched the Seahawks over to the NFC, and that after the 2001 season, they went from the AFC to the NFC. And they got stuck in there with the Rams, and they don't get along very much. A lot of back and forth between the two teams, and it's understandable because these guys are on the same level. They played 2 games this year. The Rams won one, the Seahawks won one. The game that the Seahawks won, the Rams blew a big lead. Seahawks came back and won it. Now the games that the Rams lost, the one that the Rams won, the Seahawks had a lot of turnovers from the quarterback. Now, that's a point that you need to consider when thinking about this game because Donald seems to struggle when he plays against the Rams. If he comes out and throws 3 or 4 interceptions this week, then it won't even be a game. But I'm going to assume that everybody's going to be playing on the up and up, no major turnover disparity, and it's going to go according to the way you want it to go. And because of that, I think it's going to be a high-scoring affair. Now, this game comes down to not any particular player, but the coaching staff of the Rams. I'm talking about Sean McVay. Sean McVay makes the difference whether or not the Rams win or lose. Why do I say that? Because much like Sean Payton, this guy is so in love with his offense, and he just want to run certain plays just to see it unfold before his eyes and show the world how great this offensive mind is. And we're going to draw up all these different plays to mesmerize folks instead of just attacking to get the job done. He's trying to show everybody how great his offense is. And to me, that hurts the Rams. One example of what I'm talking about is they're predictable in a lot of ways. They'll run a play, whether it's a pass or a run. If they get 2 or 3 yards on first down, 99.5% of the time, that second down play, whether if it's under 10 yards, it's going to be a play action to the back, and they're going to try to hit one of those receivers out in the seam somewhere and try to get the first down that way. 99.5% of the time, that's what the Rams are running. I'm sitting here watching it on the TV, so I don't understand why those professional defenses don't figure out what the Rams are going to do. I would even play them for the run on second down because they're going to throw the ball on the play action. You might think he's going to run, but no. Watch it. Stafford's going to come out there. He's going to do a little quick chicken fake handoff, and he's going to turn around and hit somebody. That's what they do 99.5% of the time on third down. Again, these defensive coordinators, after watching all those hours of film, the Seahawks, after playing them twice, they should know all these things about the Rams. I'm sitting here watching it on TV, and I pick up on these things. Watch the Rams. If McVay doesn't get caught up in the beauty of his offense and devises a scheme and keeps on schedule to attack that defense instead of trying to show everybody how beautiful his offense is, then the Rams are going to win this game. And if you look at the ups and downs of the Rams offense, when they go on lows, that's what is happening. It's the fact that he just get off track with what they're trying to do. But when they absolutely have to make plays, then they keep them on track with the offense, then they do well. But when he gets all off into that, let me show the world how beautiful his offense is, then they go to struggling. So as long as McVay can stay on track, they beat the Seahawks. But if he gets into that thing about his offense, and I'm going to run this play just because I devised this play, we just got to run it because I put it in the game plan, then that's going to come back to bite him. So Having said all of that, I'm partial to the Rams. I'm going to go with the Rams to win this game on the road. I don't think Sam Darnold can come through what he absolutely has to. He struggles against the Rams and the Seahawks defense. Yeah, they're good. They just destroyed the 49ers. But the problem with the 49ers, they got a mad squad. It's a game that they should have won. Had they lost to the 49ers, then that just pretty much erased everything they've done all season. So they had to beat the 49ers. But the Rams are a different case. They're going to go into Seattle and they're going to knock them off. And if Donald's throwing a bunch of interceptions, this could get ugly. So in the end, I expect this to be a high-scoring game, and I expect the Rams to pull it out. So whatever you're betting, take the overs on everything, and you're probably going to win. All right, let's see what we got on today. JC, what's going on, man? I had the wrestling dude out here. Aquarius Creation, how we doing? Do you feel good? Yeah, I'm all right now. I'm better than I was yesterday. Legion of Steel, what's going on, man? You see Baltimore, they got Minner out of he's with the Chargers, but he used to be with Baltimore, so you already knew who he was. You can't believe Josh Allen choked? Well, there's a lot of things surrounding that situation. I wouldn't necessarily say he choked. He made some mistakes, but the way they were acting in the locker room, all that crying and all of that, that caused the owner to want to fire the coach. They wanted to make some changes to make sure that the quarterback has the weapons around him to be successful. Well, McDermott told him they didn't have a Super Bowl roster. And because of that, they didn't like that. So what they're doing, they get rid of McDermott, try to make him a scapegoat for Allen not performing. Could Allen have performed better? Yeah, he could have. He said he let his team down. No, I don't think he let his team down, but he did make those mistakes that ended up costing him. He got to overtime. That wasn't his fault that the guy didn't catch the ball. Cook's got to roll over and hold on to the ball, man. And that's just the way it is. But did he choke? No, I don't think he choked. But I just don't like the way Buffalo's handling the situation with firing McDermott. Allen's got to play better. And if he plays better, then they get better results. All right. Break forever. What's going on, man? Where you been? Seattle over the Rams? No, I don't think so, Break. Patriots over the Broncos. No, I'm going with me and you wrong all the way, Break. I gotta go with the other way. I'm going with the Rams and I'm going with Denver. I thought Buffalo would be there, but it fell apart in the last minute there. All right, the Ravens hired Jesse Minter as head coach, former Chargers OC, DC. He's also the used to be in Baltimore as the DC, and that's one of the reasons why he ended up getting this job, because I guess the owner had an affinity. Maybe he's going to hire this guy if the opportunity ever presented itself. BJ 1973, Rams no Seahawks. Yes, because my Bears lost. Well, your Bears aren't ready yet, man, and they got a lot of heart. And I like to see if they can build on that, because the history of Chicago over the last 20, 25 years, they get a team, then the next year they won't do nothing. And they come back again with a good team after that. So you play up and down based on what your schedule is, and that's not a sign of a good team. BJ says rooting for Seattle. Seattle versus New England. Nope. I told my mom, Dad, McDermott was done wrong. Yeah, he did get done wrong, but it's time for a change. He's been there long enough. And if you find out that the owners thinking the way they do, and they let it be known to the world, especially with throwing players under the bus like Keon Coleman, it's a bad situation. So it might be to McDermott's benefit to get out of there. Now, I don't know if he's going to be able to get a head coaching job because the firing came so late. Baltimore has been filled, and I don't think Arizona's hired a coach yet. So he could very well end up in a place like Arizona. So McDermott, you hadn't heard the end of him yet. He'll get a coordinator job or something, so he's going to be all right. Yeah, the players have to come through, but the coach can put you in positions to win. And one sign of a bad coach is when the players don't play hard. Those guys are playing hard, then you know that they respect that coach. New England's gonna win. Still, I'm not the answer. The defense is gonna have a field day. No, this is not C.J. Stroud. And I feel with C.J. Stroud, they might have a field day. But I think Stidham is going to be able to manage that offense enough to keep the Broncos around. And he's a better quarter. He's not a bad quarterback now. So it's been a while since you've seen him play on a regular. But Stidham's not a bad quarterback. We should have went for 2 points and didn't. Coach fault. Are we talking the Bears again? Well, I think the Bears, they take too many risks. Just like Detroit. You can go for it on fourth down every now and then, that's great. But if you're dependent on it, eventually it's going to bite you. So the question really is to ask a guy like Ben Johnson, have you ever considered that going for it all the time is curtailing your chances to win? That's the question that needs to be asked of these coaches like that. Dan Campbell, he may not admit it, but he's got to know that all those fourth down opportunities he's lost has cost him a couple of games. So that's just the way it is. Who's my team? Man, I'm with the Steelers, man. That's my team. You say Buffalo sucks. Gula's are soft, maybe, but they're rich. Seattle has a good defense. Yeah, they do. Frank, you with the Jets, right? You think they should have got rid of Aaron Glenn? He had a terrible year, man. It's the first time I've ever seen a team that didn't get an interception all year. That's ridiculous. Even the sorriest of high school teams get an interception. They still got to pay McDermott. Yeah, anytime a coach gets fired, he's usually got some kind of time left on his deal. But the way they do it in the NFL, say he gets fired and goes over to another team, he doesn't get all that money he was due from the last team. They'll make some kind of adjustment moving forward. So he may get something out of it, but not a whole lot. In college, it's kind of the same thing. If you get fired with some time left, your buyout gets reduced when you make a deal with another school. Take James Franklin and got fired by Penn State, and they owed him like $49 million, and he ended up getting a whole lot less than that in the buyout. So when they made the deal, he ended up with like 10 or 13 million out of that 49. So I don't know if they put it into spread it out over your new deal or you get it up front. I don't know how that works. All right, can stay in Buffalo. All about a stadium. Well, you'll have a new coach for a new stadium. I understand that. So not a bad idea. They didn't want McDermott to be a part of the new stadium. I don't see what difference it make who the coach is that gets to open that stadium. I think McDermott probably wanted to be the coach because, you always be remembered if you're the coach when the new stadium opens up. First guy's always remembered. But does it really matter? No, it don't. So it's not a big thing. So you think they should have got rid of Aaron Glenn? Well, I think Aaron Glenn, if he come out struggling first 2 or 3 games, he's done. Aaron Rodgers, I think he's going to move away because Tomlin's not going to be there. But I'm pretty sure that Tomlin and Rodgers talked about it if the season didn't go well, what they would do. So I don't think Rodgers is going to come back to Pittsburgh. He may go somewhere else, but knowing Aaron Rodgers, he probably go out on his own terms, so he probably will come back to Pittsburgh. But I just don't see him going nowhere else. So if he does play, it's going to be in Pittsburgh. If not, he's going to sail off into the sunset. A rain dance over to the commune somewhere around the world. All right, 30-6, Houston should like Pittsburgh. That's all right. But what you don't realize is they didn't dominate us. We just didn't perform on offense. You got an old quarterback that don't want to stand in the pocket and take hits. We got people running wide open down the field. And just as he was about to hit him, he got hit. And that's not good. But that's okay. Pittsburgh is going to be fine. They still got the game checks. They still millionaires. I don't think they care. They're going to come back next year and fight it out. So no big thing. But anyway, I don't have a whole lot of time today. I want to come in and see what you guys thought about the championship matchups. People have it a foregone conclusion that Denver is going to lose without their quarterback. But I have faith that Peyton is going to come up with a game plan to get Stidham in the right situations that he don't make the big mistake to win this game. If you're a pro quarterback, you should be able to do certain things. Now, if you get out there trying to force stuff or you playing like you don't belong, like C.J. Stroud looked the last couple of weeks, then that makes a difference. But I think he can put Stidham in situations that they can somehow win this game. Now I'm going to go with the Broncos to beat the Patriots. And like I said, I think McVay will get out of his way enough to allow the Rams to beat the Seahawks. Both of them going to be good games. I expect the Rams to be high scoring, the Seahawks to be low scoring. And that's going to be your Super Bowl 60 in San Francisco. The Rams hosting the, I take that back. The Broncos will be the home team, and then have the Rams in white. So that's how that's going to go. All right. Let me get up out of here. Look at the chat a little bit more. Break says maybe Mike Tomlin will take the job of the Jets. No, I think Mike Tomlin is going to go to TV and get fat. Loses desire to get out there. You can sit there and talk football all day and don't have to worry about the consequences. Okay, Kevin Bishop, I got tickets to the Super Bowl, will sell for the right price. Man, those prices that they're selling for these games are ridiculous. I had season tickets to the Jaguars a couple of years ago, and they offer you these packages. That year, they had it up in Minnesota, and I think the cheapest ticket I could have got for two people was like $18,000. But that included an experience where you can go behind the scenes and all that. But that shit is not worth it. This college championship was the same way the other day. The cheapest seat was like $4,000. Why the hell would I spend $4,000 to watch the game in a bad seat, probably? Yeah, I can be in the environment and see the screens and all that, but that's no big deal. I can be on my couch. I can have all the drinks I want. I don't have no line at the bathroom, no line at the concession stand, and I keep $4,000 in my pocket. So why the hell would I pay all that money? I wish you good luck, because somebody will buy that ticket. But I did go to the Final Four in basketball back in '91. You know, they used to put the number on the screen the year before that you had to call and apply for, and I did that. And that's the year that UNLV destroyed Duke in Denver. And I went to the Final Four in Indianapolis. Did you know that for two tickets that I had, I paid $40 a ticket? That was for 3 games back in 1991. $40 per ticket that covered 3 games. You can't beat that. Texans are a shit franchise worse than the Bungles, and that's saying something. Maybe. But again, these guys are making money hand over fist. So are they really as bad as you think? Remember, the bottom line is to make money, and that's what they're doing. Seattle, no, break. It ain't going to be that way. Selmo, what's going on, man? Catch me when I'm about to get off. I don't know what the hell that means. Nickel pickle. I don't know what you talk about, nickel pickle, but that's a hell of a name you got there, man. We talking football over here. But whatever the case, I hope it be some good football. And next week you got that flag football Pro Bowl game. I don't even watch that crap. And that's just the future of football. I personally believe that the NFL is going to morph into a flag football league. And it's my guess that they want to make it co-ed. That's what I think the NFL is going to become in the next 30 years. They're taking all the contact out. They're bigging up flag football around the world. NFL is going to turn into a flag football league. The question is, will you watch that? No, I won't. And if college football playoffs expand to 24 teams, I won't be watching anymore, because there's no point in the regular season anymore if you're going to let all the damn teams in the playoffs. But you end up with 5 or 6 teams from each conference. They already played each other in the regular season. Why do I need to see a rematch in the playoffs? It's not like the NFL, and there will be, because you got too many teams. So 16 teams is the perfect number. 12 is great, because now you got jockeying for position. But 16, nobody gets a bye, great. But 24, no. You're just doing a money grab then. So you can have that. All right. Bums, Steelers are nothing. That's all right. Aaron Rodgers got to retire. Kevin Bishop got these Super Bowl tickets. I don't know why you want to sell them. You already paid for them. Might as well keep them. Unless you just don't want to go to Frisco. What you laughing at, break? And Scott Severini say go Broncos. Well, I think the Broncos are going to end up winning this game, like I said. And they're going to take on the Rams. But anyway, Appreciate you guys chiming in with me today. I'd like to come on tomorrow unless there's some breaking news. I come back on later tonight. I got baseball practice started up, so I got to get my jack legs ready to play. I think we got a chance to have a good team this year, and that is a welcome addition based on what I've seen the last couple of years. Gave me no words, that's for sure. So I'm hoping for some good news there, and it's gonna be a great year. I just got a feeling about 2026. I hope you guys feel the same about it. So let's start off the day by having another great day. It's been good talking to you guys, but I got to get up out of here, man. So as always, keep an eye on them Steelers because we're gonna hire a good coach, and we're going back to the playoffs, whether it's with Rodgers or